Hello, welcome to the new Super Review here on Top TV. My name is William Sabule, and with me is Mr. Victor Sioku.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for making it here to the program.
Thank you.
And the both of us are going to be going through the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria, and we're very excited to have you join us in doing this. If this is the first time you're seeing this video, don't forget to stay connected by subscribing to this channel. Click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification key. That will help you get notified whenever we come up next with another episode of the Newspaper Review. Well, for today, we'll be bringing you the headlines shortly, but that will be after this break. You stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Dear Nigerians,
mo rò pé o ti gba ohun ìdìbò rẹ.
Tare mu karba a kasamu.
Make una go get una PVC.
Aloni Nigeria go kona lo chikwono gelema.
together we can take back our country.
Now,
Nisi.
Mama.
Jesus.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
Right, welcome back. Today is the 20th day of June 2022. Yes, we're gradually, getting closer to the electioneering period in Nigeria. And, we see that the atmosphere is really changing into that mood. And I mean, looking at the Ekiti state elections that held during the weekend, that was more like a litmus test to what we expect, in the general election. So we'll go straight to the headlines for today, and we'll begin with Vanguard newspaper. Let's start from the top part of that paper. It says here, competent test, Kaduna governor, sorry, I take it again. It says, competent test, Kaduna government sacks 2,357 teachers. That story you find on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. We also see here, Kwankwaso won't serve as Obi's running mate. NNPP speaking, and you'll find details of that on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. All right, moving on to the major story there on the Vanguard, you see Ekiti poll, Segun Oni rejects outcome as APC towns PDP. We also see there as a sub-headline, we see Oni won't concede, campaign spokesman speaking. PDP distance PDP's distant third position shows Nigerians have rejected them. APC speaking there. Victorious Oyebanji woos Oni orders his victory. Good omen for 2023 polls. And then that's Buhari speaking there. We also see Fayemi's leadership made it possible for APC to retain Ekiti. Tinubu speaking there. And also PDP candidate Kolawole concedes. Prosecute Ekiti vote buyers in 7 days. Serap tells INEC. Situation room decries sitting of polling units in private residence. Oh, sorry, I take that again. Situation room decries sighting of polling units in private residence. How Oyebanji APC broke re-election jinx. Page 15, it's where you find that story. All right, so get details of that story from the Vanguard newspaper. You need to get a copy for yourself. So, Mr. Victor, let's run over, the outcome of the Ekiti elections over the weekend. I mean, it's been on the lips of everyone because, yeah, a lot of Nigerians were actually looking, had keen interest in the outcome of that election and how smooth it will run as to how people conduct themselves, and then, of course, the participation of people during this election. And the outcome, according to reports, it says it was a good run or a good test. What do you say to all of that?
Okay, in a very short way, I will talk a bit about the election. Then probably in the next papers, I know it's a major headline.
Yeah,
then we'll talk more about that. So for the election, yeah, it's Oyebanji, Abiodun Oyebanji has been declared winner. Yeah. And second in position was the SDP person, Segun Oni, former governor Segun Oni. Then we had third PDP becoming third in the name of Kolawole. Okay. That aside, I know there's a lot to digest on that particular Ekiti election. But I also want to point out about what's happening in Kaduna, whereby teachers has been sacked.
Yes.
Okay. Mind you, yes, the governor himself, El-Rufai, is a very controversial person. No two ways about that. But we should also note that I do not cancel him out 100% because when I see the truth, I tell the truth. Okay? El-Rufai sacking these teachers, if you go down the line and check, he might be very, very correct. Reason, we are not going to be pretending that all is well in our public schools. We have quack teachers in our public schools. Sure. And in a situation where you have quack teachers, how will you have bright, intelligent, successful students?
Yeah.
Who will teach them what they are supposed to learn in school? You go to schools, you find teachers that cannot even make a correct sentence. Teachers that cannot write.
I've seen cases where, during my service here, where students were being taught in their local dialect there, and it was, I mean, I was dumbfounded.
Just imagine.
Like, how is it possible that, you come to an English class and then you're teaching them in your local dialect? I mean, how is it done? Why is it so? So I'm not surprised with what you're saying too.
So that should also go out to many other states. I've been to Ogun State, same thing. Even the same Ekiti that had their election. If you go down to their schools, they have plenty professors, no two ways about that. But what is happening with their public schools? Those professors, would they tell me that when they went to school, that they had poor teachers then?
It wasn't that like that, yeah.
So if we want to have a total reform in our education system, it also needs not just about buildings and structures. It goes down to the personnel, the people teaching these children about various courses. Okay, so that aside, now to the Labour Party and the NPP, will I say collaboration in quotes?
Yeah,
okay.
we saw that news.
Yeah, so the National Publicity Secretary of the NPP came out to say that whatever happens, that Nigerians will be happy. That was the first release that came through Daily Trust. Then, just last night, another report came that it seems that this will not work, as in the collaboration between P2B becoming the president and Kwankwaso becoming the VP to P2B. So he now came out to say, how are they going to dash away the millions of supporters that Kwankwaso has already gotten? That NPP is a strong force. It now goes down to proper negotiations. I don't know how they're going to come out of this, but the news came and many obedient servants were, will I say down? Yeah, they were more like downcasted, because this is a force that they think that if it happens, that the candidature of Obi will be more eliminated. Yeah. Okay, so, but going forward, mind you, both parties had to bring a placeholder candidate.
Yes, and they have up till
for their VPs.
July.
Yes. The Kwankwaso faction brought Mr. Johnson, a Lagos-based politician, okay, while P2B Labour Party brought Doyin Okupe, former media personality, aide to Jonathan. Yeah. So let's see how it goes. We believe that everything will work out well. There shouldn't be fights. There shouldn't be. They should play matured. They should handle it maturely. And if it doesn't go their way, both the NMPP and the Labour Party, please, they should not come on social media and start lambashing themselves. Okay.
I truly agree with you.
Thank you.
Well, I know a lot of Nigerians are really, rooting for, the merging of both parties, that is the Labour and the NNPP, because they believe that that would be a strong third force to challenge the current ruling party, APC, and of course the PDP that has been the other force in Nigeria. And, as we draw closer to all these deadlines, including the July 15th deadline of submission of VPs, most Nigerians, from my friends to people I've spoken to, they are hoping that NNPP and the Labour Party will come to, a middle ground where they can now agree to merge and then challenge the APC. Because, you like it or not, the APC is the strong force to contend with. For Christ's sake, they are the ruling party, the incumbent party, plus the fact that their presidential candidate in person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a very, very strong, influential politician. And it's not just influential, he has the money force. And from what we saw at the Ekiti elections, you know, it was widely reported that there were vote buying. So for people that have the money force, I mean, who knows what will be the turnout in the general elections? And those are some of the things that we are hoping that, you know, an orientation change will happen before the election. All right, moving on, we'll go to this Daily Sun newspaper for today, the 20th day, and the headliner here says, 3 killed, 2 injured as gunmen attack church in Kaduna. Many faithful abducted by attackers. Also, at the top part of the Daily Sun newspaper, we see there, Presidency Ohaneze elders want constitutional provision on zoning, seek rotation among 6 geopolitical zones. That story is on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. All right, moving on, we also see here on easy calm in PDP as Wike orders weigh options. And then we also see as another headline there, we say Group 1's INEC against substitution of names of elected candidates. That story is on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And lastly, at the bottom part there, we see Ekiti Guba, Buhari, Carlo, Fayemi, orders hail Oyebanji over victory. PDP candidate concedes defeat. Oni, SDP candidate, ADC kick. All right, and lastly, on this paper, we take here, court stops federal government, Hawaii, from action on e-customs concession project. That story you find on page 20 of the Daily Sun newspaper. So, Mr. Victor, okay, let's handle, you know, the major headline here. It says 3 persons killed, 2 injured as gunmen attack church in Kaduna. So another attack on the church, barely 2 weeks after the very, gruesome attack in Owo in Ondo State. Here, there's another attack again in Kaduna State. What do you think? What do you think this will be transmitting to? Because they are beginning to make it look like it's a religious war that is going on. What's your take on
now, with what is happening in the country, you find out that Borno State is not mentioned every day like Kaduna State.
Yes, Kaduna is now taking...
It's not the new Borno.
Yes.
It's not the new Borno. And it's very shameful. It's very shameful and embarrassing that Kaduna is the military zone of this country. It is where we have most of our...
The most military presence.
Artillery, name them. And you get to find out all this news. And it's not like Kaduna is so big. Like the far north. It's not that they have those massive land masses. Yes, they have their game reserves and some forest reserve areas. But that does not call for all this killing. Okay? Yes, some persons have also said the reason why this high rate of killing in Abuja is happening, that, like I mentioned one of our programs, I went deep down to tell us a history about why the crisis has been ongoing in Kaduna. Now, you find out that there is strong ethnic and religious issues in Kaduna. And when it happens to one faction, when there is a fatal incident in one side, the other side repatriates. They go back and cause mayhem and destruction in other sides.
So there's always a reprisal attack.
It's been on and on and on. And to worsen the case, I don't know, will I also tag it to the media? In fact, 2 things involved now. The Kaduna State government is seen as partial when it comes to matters of ethnicity in their place, because like their judgments go on one side, which in many cases they say it goes on for the Muslims, for the Muslim side of the sphere. So, and that has also made the Christians in Kaduna to feel dejected. Okay, so I believe in many cases it still goes down to the head, to the leadership of Kaduna State. This is one too many. Before you know it, I'm not trying to predict doom for Kaduna, but from the way it's been moving, find out that later this week we'll still come back to mention that something of this nature has happened.
That's true.
Unfortunately, all these attacks happen in churches. Then you ask, what happens to the mosque? I'm sorry, but I need to, I'm an analyst for crying out loud. We need to check it on the left and check it on the right. Why would it be happening? I'm a Christian too. Why would it be happening in the house of God? In churches? Repeatedly.
So it's beginning to, that's what I said earlier, it's beginning to look like there's a religious crisis and then somebody is not addressing it properly.
Yes, it goes down to the leadership. What are they doing about this? Will they just fold their hands and allow this to be happening over and over again?
Well, we also remember that the Kaduna State governor has also come out at some point to cry that, that his state has been invaded by, terrorists, that he believes strongly with intelligence reports reaching him that people from Sambisa Forest, that's these terrorists from Sambisa Forest, are beginning to relocate to Kaduna State. And with the consistent attack, on government facilities and on people, innocent people for that matter.
Innocent lives.
It now clearly looks like what the governor has been crying about is true, and if that be the case, like you rightly pointed out, Kaduna State has the highest military presence in the entire country because that's where we have military training schools, not one, not two. That's where we have a lot of military bases, including the Air Force and police, so one would wonder what is the place or what role are they playing in protecting lives and property where this thing is now happening right in front of their houses, right in front of their offices. And men, are they saying that these people are bigger than them and these people they cannot handle? Or is there an order that is restricting them from doing their job? These are questions, that requires answers, and we need to understand what is going on because we cannot continue to live like this. First, it started like, it was happening only in Borno State, up there in the north. Now it's now coming down south. It has happened in Owo, in Ondo State. That's one of the, states in the middle of the West. That is one. Who knows? And, there was some unconfirmed report where they said some of the terrorists were saying we are in all of the bushes around Nigeria. We're just waiting for orders to execute. With all those kind of reports, what is the place of intelligence in our military or in our security outfits? What kind of intelligence are they getting? And are they acting upon it? Or they are waiting for it to happen and then they come out and say, this is unfortunate. We don't need that kind of government. We need a government that is proactive. So they need to wake up to their responsibility, especially now that we are drawing really close to the general elections. All right, we're going to move on to other headlines, and that will be the Daily Trust newspaper. And we'll start from the top part of the paper there. It says, Ekiti government. Okay, no, I'll take that again. It says, Ekiti governorship, Buhari hails Oyebanji's victory. SDP kicks. Foreign airlines trapped funds hit $450 million. And also we see here as the major headline on the Daily Trust newspaper, it says, more woes as aviation fuel, diesel prices soar. Jet A1 hits 815 naira per litre. Diesel nears 800 naira per litre. Inflation spikes as transport cost rises. Banks orders cut down services. How federal government can intervene. Experts speaking there. All right, Mr. Victor, this is a very interesting and I don't know how to describe this headline. This is not a good news for Nigerians because, we were thinking we're just coming out of this phase where, we had this almost 3 months fuel scarcity that really hit and, hit hard on a lot of Nigerians. To see this coming back up again, it started from maybe about 3 weeks ago where we say, fuel lines, fuel queues are beginning to emerge in Abuja and some states. And now it has become, very evident that there's a problem somewhere. I bought fuel yesterday and I bought at the rate of 175 naira per litre. I was really shocked. But yes, that is the current situation we're in at the moment. What do you think is going on?
So I think we are enjoying here in the south. Reason, because we have tank farms all over here. So there are really no need for trailers or trucks to be traveling traveling long distance to supply to petrol stations. But in places like Kaduna, the north, so as they are tending towards north, okay, you find out that these persons, most of the times they go to Ogun State, they go to Lagos, carry from the wharf, then distribute. So the cost of moving their trucks from the depots down to the north to Abuja makes it very expensive, knowing that diesel is around 800 naira. So how would they be able, the first station, how would they be able to make profit on their products if they have used most of the money to transport the products to their stations?
Yeah.
So, and it has beginning to happen in Port Harcourt, because in Abuja, in many places in the north too, they buy for 190, 185, 200, depending on the location. Now in the south, in Rivers State, it is now, we are not feeling it, because these people are adding like 5 naira, 10 naira to it, because these truck drivers will have to make money to make another trip.
Yeah.
They cannot just be spending money, and in business you need to make your profit. So it also goes down. Now, mind you, there is this analogy saying that in the next coming months, if they don't do anything to this, the price of diesel might hit 1,500 naira. And you know what that means?
Yeah.
If it tries, in fact, if it even crosses the 1,000 mark, you start seeing industries shutting. When I mean, they will shut down.
Yeah, because in a country like ours that has major power issues.
Yes.
I mean, the national grid has been down for over a week or more, more than a week, if I may say.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's been more than a week,
Yes.
and a lot of people are beginning to struggle with this. And then, mind you, a lot of private businesses don't depend on either the national grid or the local power supply, because these things are not regular. They're not regular. And so, most of them generate their own power. How do they do this? By buying fuel and diesel. And which other means of way they try to sustain themselves. And with the current price hike that seems to be, going up and up and up, no way down. I mean, my brother, you're so right when you say a lot of business will soon shut down. And it's going to have a backlash on our economy. It's already happening because the cost of living has
Hotel prices.
tripled.
Yes.
Has tripled.
Price of bread. Look at biscuits now. If you notice, many biscuits, they've reduced the size.
A lot.
Look at noodles. In fact, if you go and do quality and quantity control now on your own privately, you want to do investigations to check how many grams per product, what they are written on their leaflets and what they have
what the
inside.
actual thing is.
You find out that many of these companies have reduced the quantity of their products just so that they will meet up with prices. Okay, so sir, one more thing. I would not like to talk about the Ekiti state.
Yeah.
Okay. I will just round up with the winners and the losers from the Ekiti state elections. Let me start from the winners. The winners here is the main winner himself, which is the governor-elect. Mind you, they say that he's been Ekiti in and out, as in through and in. He's been someone that he was born there. He went to primary, secondary, high institution, all in Ekiti State. So he's an Ekiti boy in and out. So now Economios has been poured on him, congratulatory messages. The president has come out to congratulate him. Both the PDP candidate also, that's Kolawole, came out to congratulate him. Okay. Another winner we have is Fayemi. Mind you, since 1999, we've not heard a situation whereby an incumbent government has won the next election.
Yes.
It has always been, once this party gets 4 years, another party, it's been about rotation and rotation. Rotation, not that they are doing it themselves, just because they are not winning elections. So it's more like a back-to-back win for APC for the first time since 1999. So the government of Fayemi has done that. Mind you, even, I'll say even the previous government tried to put in their candidate, that's the incumbent governor of then, wanted to put in the candidate, but it did not work. So this time around, Fayemi is the one that has broken this jinx, and congratulations to him. Okay, now to the losers. the losers, I will not just mention, yes, Kolawale. Kolawale seems to be a calm guy. He lost and he came out and said, I've lost. It is a challenge that has come, and it just has to be one winner, and the winner is Oyebanji. We'll find a way and work with him. Yeah. But the SDP man, Segun Oni, came out to say he's going to challenge the result because we can't shy away that vote buying and some elements of violence also happened in Ekiti State. So he wants to go and challenge that. Now to Fayose himself, he's the big loser here because he tried to, or he fought his way by imposing the candidate of Kolawale to the PDP. Okay? Not allowing for free and fair election down to the primaries, which will also happen in the general election. Mind you, many of such things have happened with different parties in the country, both the APC and the PDP. Many candidates were imposed against the wish of their delegates.
Yeah.
Okay. So it happened that Segun Oni, the same Segun Oni that came second position, was with the PDP, but he was thrown out due to Fayose's strong hands that he wants Kolawole to become the next president. Just imagine, the same man that you guys forced out of your party after the primaries went to the SDP that in quote does not have proper structure, and he now came second. Imagine that he was the same candidate
That stayed on the
PDP ticket.
Yeah.
Imagine the vote that he scored 80-something thousand against the 60-something thousand of PDP, merge them together. That would be a very close tie, or he might even go ahead to win. So it goes down to all these, in quote, these leaders that wants to be godfathers. By all means, allow the populace to decide. Allow your delegates to decide. So, as you can see, he has tried it for 2 times. I mean, Fayose has tried it 2 times, in 2018 and 2022. It did not work for him. What does that entail? It means that he has lost power in the ranks of the PDP.
He doesn't have that level of influence.
Yes. So going down to the new government of the governor-elect, if he's been sworn in, you find out that Ekiti State needs a better government. If Fayemi, in my own understanding, he did not do much, personally. Because I've been to Ekiti State before, okay? And why then you will see big signs of poverty in Ekiti State. And today, we have seen it clearly from this vote buying. Do you know, people were queuing up
to collect 5,000.
In fact, the line to vote was shorter than the lines where they were queuing up to collect money.
You know, that's the most ridiculous part of the whole story, where, you know, people collect 5,000 naira. What can 5,000 naira do for you in this current economy, this highly inflated economy? 5,000 naira may not be able to feed you for a whole day, but people were happy to collect that money and sell their 4 years.
That is the element. That is the weighty nature of poverty in Ekiti State. Yeah. Where you see some old men, you see them struggling. They've made a lot of distance to come to the polling unit
to collect that 5K.
To collect that 5K. Because why? This government have impoverished those people. They are not receiving any pension. Pension is luxury in Nigeria. They are not receiving their pension. No provision for these old people in our communities. So what do? They stay hungry. Some of them die in their houses due to hunger.
Yeah. And you know,
in a country like us,
in part of the report, it was said that it was this, you know, older people that came out. The turnout of the older people were more than the young people, which goes to say a lot more young people need to get involved. That's what it just means. So if you're a young person out there and you have succeeded in, you know, registering for your PVC and you're picking it up, please get involved. Don't just get your PVC. You need to go out and vote because your vote actually counts. Well, that's all we're taking today. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for being part of this. And also to you, our very dear audience, thank you so much for being part of this newspaper review. You join us next time as we come again tomorrow with another exciting episode of the newspaper review. My name is William Sabule, and this has been the newspaper review. See you next time.